And welcome back to the Daily Autism Radio Show as we wind down December, saying goodbye to 2023 and 2024 on tap.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You sound ready for it.
I am ready for it. I'm ready for a new year.
I am, too.
This was a tough year.
It was. Not like in... I am ready for a new year. It wasn't a bad year, 2023, but I am ready for... There's something about a vibrant new start. You know what I mean? And just like... ready for a new year.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm finally in the Christmas spirit. Finally.
Yeah, you've well, let's be honest. I mean, you know, special needs families, you got a lot to think about when it comes to the holidays. Decorations, changing schedules, you know what I mean? There's so much. And
change in schedule is a big thing.
Yeah, and I just feel like Cal has been a little bit more open to new things, like holiday things.
Yeah, very open this year. Before, I would like give presents leading up to Christmas because he can't handle like having a bunch of presents at once. He didn't like seeing the kids open gifts. He doesn't like the mess of the wrapping paper.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we couldn't even have a tree up. I let the kids put it up right before, like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like our house, even a week ago, had basically nothing. And today it's like, wow, look what we've done in 3 days. Like and
it makes the other kids feel good.
It
you
does.
know,
we went to 2-3 Christmases without any real decorations or anything. We had to hide Christmas morning. He didn't like the paper. He didn't like the wrapping paper, like being ripped open, the boxes, ripping open the gifts and stuff. Hated all of it. But this year, it's funny as that stuff has come. You know, some of it's come, being delivered by UPS or FedEx or whatever. He watches out the window and he goes, another present is here. And he gets really excited. And so we were kind of like, do you like Christmas this year? Is Santa nice and the reindeer? Oh, yes. Merry Christmas. And then you put up decorations and I came home and he goes, Daddy, look at Cal's Christmas decorations. And I was like, well, this is new and different and cool and fun.
Yeah, so I think what really helped is we just opened a private sensory studio in Seminole, and when we were getting ready to open, packages were being delivered to our front door, like every single day, like for quite some time. And so he would keep seeing packages, and then he like put two and two together, like Christmas and packages. So he's like, and then when we finally showed him the studio, he was like, oh, like this is gifts, presents,
Yeah.
So now he got into like Christmas and presents and all that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you still don't know what's going to happen the day of, but that's special needs family life, right? You don't anything. I mean, the thing is we're ready for anything, but the way it looks right now, at least it's trending in a good, happy, fun direction for the holidays, as opposed to what it's been, which is like no holidays, no celebration, and like you said, the 4 other kids. I mean, this is tough on them. I mean, this is the kind of thing where they don't. You don't get a second shot at Christmas. It's the 25th. And so, of course, there's a bigger meaning to Christmas and the holiday, the spirit and that. But to the day of celebration, the actual day of, we really had to kind of abbreviate that, so that Cal could be, comfortable and not overwhelmed and things like that. So it seems like we'll have a little bit of a resurgence of the holiday spirit, which is cool.
Very cool. I mean, we've definitely catered to him. We cater to him all the time because it's not worth the meltdowns. Mm-hmm. So part of that, like not having the Christmas tree and stuff, but part of not doing the celebration and stuff is depressing.
Yeah.
Like you feel a little down.
But there is, we are going to attempt to put up a Christmas tree actually today and just see what the reaction is. So hopefully it's a good one. He's liked everything else. So far. So
yeah, I think it's actually going to be a great year.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited about it. With anything else, like we always tell families, you have to stair step this thing. So this has been a lot of like watching videos. He has his favorite videos, like Baby Shark. He loves the song. Well, they have a Christmas version, like where the sharks are dressed up and stuff. So it's like he's watching that now. And then Toodles from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, they have a Christmas Toodles. And so he's watching that. So you sort of just have to set in motion. Same thing for Halloween, right? You have to, hey, we're going to go trick-or-treating. This is what it looks like. And so we're watching shows, things that he's used to, has equity and likes, about Halloween and trick-or-treating, but you have to stair step to get there. You can't just be like, hey, surprise, it's Halloween. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too much. And so that's kind of what we've done. His therapists have helped him. His siblings have helped him. And I think it's kind of like having that soft landing as opposed to just like, hey, we're about to land, everybody, put your seatbelt on. And everyone's like, whoa, 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 like it's, we need a slow descent to get there. That's what this has been, really.
Yeah, and we don't push him. It is baby steps. But it wasn't always like that.
No.
I used to be like, let's go, always in a hurry and stuff. So I had to change over the years.
It doesn't do any good. And, this is, I think, is where typical families and then special needs families sometimes get at odds with each other, because there's that mentality of like, no, you're the parent. You set the rules. You dictate. You this and that. And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, we have done that with our other, our typical kids. But when you have a disability and a neurological disability, that doesn't work. I mean, it's just, if you don't put the right kind of gas in the engine, it's just, it's not going to perform, right?
Yeah.
If you put diesel in a non-diesel engine, it's just not going to. So that's what that is. It's just, it doesn't work. It's not. Sometimes I think for special needs families, they feel like, I think we've been made to feel like before, it's a lack of, discipline and, even integrity and giving in and stuff. It's like, it has nothing to do with that. Like our 4 other kids are, very well disciplined. We've been, strict or, at least disciplined with them.
Right.
But, it's like, you just have to rewire how you do it with special needs and a neurological disability. It really is. I get bummed out when you talk to other parents and they just don't understand that. They're just like, nope, you're giving up. You're giving in. You're too soft.
Yeah, people don't understand it.
And I'm like, I'm too soft? Like, no one's ever, like, I've never been called soft. Like, am I a soft guy?
No, you're a very hard guy.
Yeah, I'm not a soft, like, I played sports growing up and, what I mean? I understand what it takes, hard work and the payoff and investing your time and being around good people and everything. I understand that. But this is like, I never had a neurological disability. And I didn't have friends who had a neurological disability or family members. I didn't know. I didn't understand it. And so, trust me, what I'm good at, like my DNA and everything like that, won't work with this. So we had to rewire, and kind of like what you just said.
Yeah.
It used to be like, come on, let's go. Keep moving. We're going to do this now. We're going to do that. It just doesn't work. Why would you force something that's just not going to work? And actually, not only does it not work, it actually is detrimental to the child because they will start to just close off. I mean, we've heard stories before of regression. You had a verbal child with autism, and then they go nonverbal. And, you don't know what the trigger point is on that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's no disciplining Cal.
No.
Like, we don't discipline him.
You have to be
You can't, and don't raise your voice, you know? Like,
you have to be a partner in him every day. A partner, a true partner. Like, you have to do these things with him, his good times with him, his bad times with him, his confused, sad, happy times with him. Everything is with him. And the other kids, and whether we're talking about holidays or whatever, you don't so much need to be with them through all that stuff because you are the parent and you have to understand that they have the ability and the capability to adjust, whereas he doesn't.
right.
So it takes a lot of patience. I probably, if they gave out an award for the most impatient person on earth, would win it every year. Like I would be on the cover of the Impatient magazine. Now, probably not so much. I'm a lot more patient because I just understand it doesn't work. At some point, it's on the parent. It's like, when will you realize it doesn't work? And when will you adjust,
Exactly.
Yeah. And so now it's like, it doesn't work. I'm not giving it my time. We'll find a new way. If it comes off as soft to other people, I don't even mind. I think it used to bother me, but now I'm like, I know I'm doing the right thing for him. He's the most important thing right now. So opinions are opinions.
Yeah, and we still parent our other kids like typical kids.
Sure.
And how we normally always would. But with Cal, like you said, he knows that we love him and like we put so much into him and we care for him. He'll say, "Oh, my sweet mommy."
Yeah, exactly.
And, like he knows.
Yeah, and that's, I think the thing is like once you get over that hump and now you don't even you almost actually become a little more bulletproof. It's actually funny. It's like, when people will be like, oh, those people are parenting soft. Actually, it's as hard as we've ever been. But the hard part, the strength that you need, is actually keeping yourself together. You know what I mean? Like, It's actually the hardest we've ever been. Like, it takes so much strength, focus, strategy. It's like, I tell people all the time, it's like, do most families know what it's like that mom and dad has to walk their child to the car every time because they could take off and get killed, hit and kill back, eloping. I mean, I didn't know what this stuff was 3 years ago. I had no idea. But imagine that. Like, just imagine, like, I don't think we can go there because the parking lot situation and there's only one parent that can be there and you just can't contain it. That takes strength to strategy to think about.
Yeah. Cal's 6 and he never walks outside without holding my hand.
Yeah.
Ever.
But then there's times where something will trigger and he'll go, I think I was talking about this on LinkedIn the other day on a video thing. And if I ran like a Fortune 500 company, I would probably say, listen, we're looking for these positions. If you're a special needs parent, let us know, because the skills you develop, you don't even realize it, but you become so sharp and so just laser focused. It's beyond anything I've ever been, even when I think I was at the best of my career, which was in the media business and hosting radio shows for over 20 years. Even at my best then, I'm so much sharper now. I think so much more ahead, the strategy, and it's all because what we have to do every day, 24/7, 365. And I'm like, okay, I'm in my 40s, and I think I'm at the sharpest I've ever been, like with the 6 inches between my ears because of this special needs. Like, you have to think of everything. You've got to have a strategy for every second of the day.
Yes.
So if I'm running a big company, I want those kind of people. Now, on the flip side, are you more exhausted? Are you tired? Are you stressed? Yes. But because of that, you need to double down on the other stuff to beat that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think everybody hears special needs, and for some reason, a lot of people hear the needs and they don't hear the special.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I mean, you develop some special skills. It's important stuff.
Yeah. Being a special needs parent, I mean, it is special.
It's like, yeah, but for some reason, everybody hears needs louder. You know what I mean? They hear need. It's like, no, special came first. Like, it's special circumstances, special skills, special strategies, special thoughts. Yeah, one day I hope I can do something to really help the parents, because you are hit with so many things. It's harder to keep a full-time salary job. It's expenses go up, stress goes up. But, I mean, taxes stay the same, insurance payments stay the same, but you're taking losses in so many other categories of your life. It's hard. And so I wish, I hope one day I can do something to really help these people, give them opportunity where it's like, no, you have special skills. Let's use them so you can provide for your family.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, there's no stress unlike what is going to happen to my kid when I die.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I haven't experienced anything like it in my life. And there's days that go by, a couple days maybe here and there that you don't think about it, but mostly every day.
Yeah, for sure.
What's going to happen? I mean, that alone, just the process of thinking is like training you into becoming a good critical thinker.
Right.
The problem is it's so hard to get to a solution of that question. But that's okay, because you're fine-tuning your mind, your process. You keep thinking, you keep going. It's keeping your mind sharp.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we don't even have family around that knows Cal the way that we do. So like
nobody.
If we did die, I mean, our kids know him the best, but none of them are old enough to take care of him.
Yeah. And from what we understand, we will die one day. That's what we're hearing. Like, our doctors have told us that. Everybody's told us that. And so,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was disappointing news from the doctor that we one day will die. So you do have to, you're thinking about it. And I thought to myself, well, I can't die. I've got a lot going on. I can't. And the doctor says, I got some really bad news.
You're so ridiculous.
And the doctor says, unfortunately, you're going to die. I can't tell you when or of what, but I am going to go ahead and pronounce you a future death. And
my gosh.
It's tough, but
we actually have doctor's appointments tomorrow, which I'm really happy about. And you almost like don't want to know if something's wrong, but you have to know if something's wrong.
Yeah, you do.
Because you have to plan ahead.
It's so easy to just say, well, I'm not going to look out. You have to look out for yourself. You really do. And especially in this situation. I mean, you don't know. You don't know. So you have to just say, I'm going to face it head on. And that's another thing, too, about the special needs lifestyle. You're facing everything else head on anyway, right? It's all coming at. Just add one more thing.
Yeah.
Because you're facing everything else anyway. So you might as well try to make sure you're facing it at full strength, as opposed to something happen. And, I was talking with somebody the other day, I was reading this blog, and, you get the special needs. Having a special needs child you're all of a sudden not immune from other diseases, other accidents, tragedies. Those things all happen too. Also,
Yeah.
so you got to be at full strength here, and then for the families like us that have, typical kids on top of special needs kids, you still need to be a typical dad, a typical mom. They need typical experiences. They can't be caregivers their entire childhood. They can't be deprived of typical childhood experiences their entire childhood. So how do you do that? I don't know, but you need the strength to figure it out.
Yeah, and our kids help a lot, but we do make sure that they stay in sports and they get to hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
And luckily, like with their friends come experiences that we can't give them, like going to Busch Gardens or, just different things that we don't usually get to do.
No, it's true. And it's funny, we've been talking a lot about the end of 2023 is how do we make 2024 a bit more typical for the family? Is Cal ready to be a bit more typical, or not him be typical? I understand that's impossible, but participate in typical experiences that he can tolerate, that are good for him, happy for him. So we're going to, kind of experiment with that in 2024. As our kids get older, I was thinking the other day, we've got, 4 or 5, 6 years left, of their childhood, at the most. I mean, there's a few kids that 4 years are gone. So, it's just, it is kind of, it's an experimentation, but you got to get cozy with that. You've got to be open to let's experiment a little bit. Let's not stay locked in this same routine all day, every day. Nothing's going to change on that end. You have to kind of mix it up, make it a little messy, and see what you can get out of it.
Well, so Cal doesn't just have autism. He also has global developmental delay, which you don't hear a lot of. Mm-hmm. And I actually didn't even start really thinking about that part of his diagnosis until this year, because I could actually see the development where he was at. And so he's 6 years old, and he's been at a 3-year-old level for quite some time. And then later this year, he's gotten to the 3.5-year-old level. And now we're actually starting to see the 4-year-old level.
Yeah.
And with that 4-year-old level is adding new things, like liking Christmas. It was just one of our daughter's birthdays. And for the last couple of years, we haven't been able to sing happy birthday. We haven't been able to make it a big deal and all that. And this year he tolerated it. We could sing happy birthday. She blew out our candles, and then he wanted to blow out the candles. So seeing those changes is a big deal.
He's starting to also want to emulate a lot of what he sees going on, which can be good and can be bad, but so that's a good example of that. He saw his older sister Charlie blow out the candles, and he, I think we had to give him 2 different sets of candles because he wanted to blow them out too.
But he didn't throw a fit.
Exactly. He wanted to participate in the thing. So those kind of things are leading us to believe, well, let's experiment with integrating more typical, what life looks like, stuff for early 2024. And I think that could be, a real positive thing. Real quick, we're around the holidays, and Warrior Mom, the book, is now in audio form. Tracy Slepcevic, she is the Warrior Mom. So Warrior Mom, a mother's journey in healing her son with autism, talking about the underlying conditions of autism, which the book really opened our eyes to underlying conditions. I mean, there are just things that we didn't realize. She goes through all of it. Something off the top of my mind is the gut, the really poor guts of kids with autism, which has been scientifically studied. They have gut issues, and so she really gives you a good guidebook. But the audio version is out now on Amazon through Audible. Warrior Mom, if you want to check that out. Also, Tracy's parenting summit, called the Autism Health Summit, is the first weekend in February in San Antonio, Texas, at this awesome resort. Tickets are available, and I got to tell you, she's offering a holiday special. You want to go to autismhealth.com. It's buy one ticket, get the second one half off. So that's a great holiday special. It'll be a fun 2 days for parents to network. I think she's going to have 30 speakers. They're doing movie showings, a cocktail hour. More than anything else, I think, especially for parents who have, like us, we're about 3 years into a diagnosis. It's just a chance to meet other parents and make connections. I'm telling you, you never know. There's something different about when you're around other parents of autism. You never know what kind of connection it could make. What kind of lifelong friend, what kind of maybe business you and these other people could come up with together. You just don't know. So it's a great opportunity, I think, to get together and network and really just create some relationships with people whom you otherwise would never know. autismhealth.com to get those tickets. And it doesn't hurt that the first weekend in February, you're at a beautiful resort in San Antonio, Texas. That doesn't hurt either.
Yes, it's very pretty.
Yes, it's not, Tracy didn't do this in Michigan or Indiana the first weekend of February. Nothing wrong with the Midwest, but February, I'll take San Antonio, Texas.
Yes.
So pretty good. Definitely excited about seeing everybody there. One thing I wanted to touch on was because we did just open the Sensory Studio, which is in Seminole, Florida, in Pinellas County. If you know people in that area and they have kids on the spectrum, this is a private studio experience. And it's funny, we really had to kind of educate people as to what that means because it doesn't exist. I mean, we looked for a year, we investigated it, we analyzed everything, we called people, we talked to other businesses. There is no place where a family can go just themselves and basically own a sensory studio for a set amount of time. So what my sensory studio does is it allows special needs families to basically own 1,000 square feet of a sensory play experience. And this equipment, the design and everything, it was done by sensory play experts, Fun Factory, Sensory Gym. They're the best. They're world class. They're the gold standard, right? They've done over 50,000 installs. They know what they're doing, therapy centers, churches, schools, people's homes. They've got an impressive portfolio online, Fun Factory, sensorygym.com. But I was talking, I was really like, wow, it's really interesting. Like, there's so much that doesn't exist. And I think it's going to take special needs families to create it.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think venture capitalists, the people who invest in business, they don't understand. People who would call themselves entrepreneurs, I don't think they necessarily understand. They could understand the profit and loss and the investment strategies and everything like that and revenue generation. But the cream of the crop, right? Solving the problem and getting somebody excited, like, I need this. Thank you for creating this. I think that's going to have to come from a special needs family, because, not to pat ourselves on the back, but who is going to do this? Who was going to do it? And to be quite honest with you, if we weren't in this situation, we would never have done it. We wouldn't have thought about this. This wouldn't have been anything we were even aware of.
Yeah, we've lived in a lot of different states, and we used to take all of our little kids to a play place all the time.
Sure.
Cal cannot handle a big play place. I can't take him to a trampoline park. I can't even take him to the regular park.
Yeah.
So this is just creating a safe environment for families to go. You don't have to worry about anything. There's not chokeable toys there. This is equipment. And mostly it's 1,000 square feet to run. Safe.
To run, to play, crash mats, zip lines. And, we wanted to make this something that other families, we just put this video on Facebook and Instagram. We wanted our other kids to be able to go there and play with Cal. Mm-hmm. So that he could have the experience of playing with his family and everything. So, we mounted a big TV and we went last weekend and NFL football was on. So some of our, the kids got Chipotle. They're watching football. And then, they would take a break from football and play with Cal. And then Cal, we have a calming tent there and he wanted to go hang out in the calming tent. So the kids went back and watched football and ate more Chipotle. And then Cal wanted to be chased through and run through the under tunnel system and everything. It was funny. I saw that and I was like, well, this is exactly what I wanted. This is what we were doing this for.
Yes.
And listen, a lot of it, it's just like you had mentioned, those other, I call them big box play gyms because they're huge. There's 15,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet, whatever. And it just doesn't work for a lot of special needs families. We get that feedback from other special needs families. That's what they say. And that's also what we've noticed. Not all. For some, it works great. But again, having kids come up and maybe not be nice to your child because you're mixing in, typical families, kids coming up handing chokeable items, random closings because, the gym or whatever has been rented out for a birthday party. Hey, they got to get money, make money. I respect it. But do you know how hard it is to convince your child for 3 days to get excited? We're going to play at a place and then you show up and it's like, we're closing in an hour for 4 hours because of a birthday party. It's like,
yeah.
What? What?
I know.
You know what it took to get here and now we have to leave. So, it just, it's not a slam on these other people. It's just some things work and some things don't. You know what I mean? It's like, so that was our solution to those issues, to those problems. And you can't be all things to all people. That business strategy has been proven dead time and time again. And so this strategy concept, what we created, really, it only works for a very small amount of people. But it's enough to make a difference in a family's life and a child's life. And so that's why we did it. And but, my broader point of this is really special needs families. You can create these solutions. You can create little, even something small, you can create and make a big difference. But I think it has to come from the special needs mind, the special needs parent's mind, because only when we went into this, it was so funny. It was like we walked into the space and we're like, Dan, 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 dan. Those are all the things we had to fix immediately.
Right.
But if our child wasn't autistic, none of those things I think we thought of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the multiple locks on the doors and the special outlet covers. I mean, so many things. And I remember thinking, man, we're automatic. Like, we just look at a space and just, we're automatic now,
For sure.
It's kind of like we talk about renting an Airbnb. I hope we can do it one day. But it's like, man, we'd walk in there and just be like, we're bringing our own outlet covers. We're bringing, there's a few things we're just going to take and just put on top of the kitchen cabinets. You know what I mean? It's just going to be a clean sweep when you walk in there. But that's what it takes.
It's true. Like, if you're a special needs parent and you want to do an Airbnb for special needs families, it would work.
Oh, boy. If we've talked about that. If we had, let's pretend we had owned an investment property like on the beach or something, we would probably gear it out for a special needs family and just say, listen, we've thought of everything.
Yeah.
Come on in. You know what I mean? Because we know the relief. We went down to Siesta Key like a couple years ago. Your family had come down and rented a really beautiful townhouse, but we were on alert 24/7 because this thing was like.
And I brought baby gates and everything.
Oh, we're installing hardware in this place. We don't even live there. We're not even people renting it. I was thinking to myself, if they have cameras in here and they're probably like, who's the construction crew at our townhouse this weekend? Like,
It was the only way I could be comfortable.
It's freaking door handle
Locks on the
thing,
doors.
locks on the doors. We go in the coffee table, there's like all these like glass dolphins and whales and stuff. Nope, we just picked all those up and put them on top of the counter.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I brought locks for the cabinets
Everything.
in the kitchen and
Crazy. Yeah. Cal's walking around the house inside with a floaty on, inside the house.
yes.
Just in case he gets out because the pool is literally like right there. We're locking the sliding glass door. Was a second story. Mm-hmm. We're like, nope. We had locks on the sliding glass door.
Yeah.
I think your sister's kids were like, gosh, nice prison we've rented for our spring break or whatever it was. But
hey, it's safety.
yeah, well, we had fun. Well, hey, how much more relaxed were we at night doing all that stuff as opposed to being like, oh my goodness, what if he wakes up? What if he tries to get out? Nope,
Yeah.
None of that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We basically barricaded everybody in their rooms at night. We told everybody when to go to bed, and we would be barricading them in their room.
Back to the sensory studio, though. Imagine being 6 years old and not being able to play. You can't go to the park because it's not safe for you.
Yeah.
And play is such a huge part of development. So I'm very happy about the space. I've actually seen a huge difference in Cal after we go. Like, he's calm and he's using all these different muscles. Actually, he tried to go on the monkey bars the other day with help for the first time ever.
Well, my goal is for him to get on, because he can get himself up on the zip line, and then now it's just to propel himself to basically zip line across the studio and land into the crash mats. That's going to take so much strength, which is so good. A lot of these kids have really bad core muscle,
Yes.
and everything like that. And I don't know, like you said, play is good for the body and the mind. It's probably one of the most underestimated things as a kid is being able to play. And a lot of these kids can't play. And, it's funny. Sometimes it's like, well, they don't play because a lot of them don't have friends. They either don't get along with other people. They don't acknowledge them. I know, but what you're looking at that from a neurotypical, but for the neurodiverse, play with themselves is fine. That is their version of play. Being able to do things with themselves and do different things. Like, that is play. So I got caught in that too sometimes. I'm like, well, I'd like him to be with like 5 or 6 or 7 other kids. And I'm just like, but he doesn't get anything out of that. That's more of a distraction for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He gets along with other kids, but as far as the play, He's fine doing his own things on his own time. He loves it. He does love playing with his siblings. But again, he knows that those are his siblings. And sometimes he likes watching his sibling. You know, like the other day, for instance, he was pitting the kids against each other. He was assigning who was going to wrestle who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just loves it. He starts cracking up when they start wrestling. But he's the one assigning it. He's not necessarily doing it, but he enjoys setting up the wrestling match and telling him to go and watching him. That is play for him.
Yes,
you know.
it is.
So it's a lot of these kids, autistic kids, they're sort of conductors in the orchestra.
Oh,
They
yeah.
kind of like to set it all up and then watch it happen.
Yep.
You know what I
That's
mean?
True.
Yeah.
But something that people don't talk a lot about that I've had to learn over the years is something that comes with a lot of autistic people is anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And Cal has very bad anxiety. And what helps with my anxiety? Exercise.
Yep.
You know, so he's getting that exercise now.
Well, and this is stuff like when we started down this road, you know, I was reading research reports about this, about, you know, what can this really do for somebody? I mean, I get how it looks. Okay, go play, have fun. But is there a really purposeful advantage in doing it? And there is. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and read you the research studies. You can find them, but it's actually incredible. Here's what's scary. So many special needs families don't pursue it. They just are like, nah, I'm tired. I don't know if my kid's going to like it, you know, whatever. But it's like you going to a gym. I don't know what you're going to get out of going to the gym once a month. Nothing. What would you see? What difference would you see? Nothing. It's when you commit to a lifestyle, then you really see it. And so when I was reading all this stuff, I was like, yeah, this does make a difference. Like it makes a difference, you know? And so in reading all of the science and research and therapists and professionals and everything, I was like, well, this makes sense. You know, not only is it fun, it's healthy. So
Right.
I can't imagine a better thing for special needs kids. Give them a fun and healthy experience. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
yeah, it's really important stuff. Let's talk free diapers for special needs families as we get into the new year, 2024. This might be able to take a load off of your checking account and give you some more time. Aeroflow Urology is solving a lot of these problems. If you have a special needs child 3 and over, you may qualify, and these might be 100% covered by Medicaid. DailyAutism.com, and you want to hit the Aeroflow Urology button. The form takes like 2 minutes to fill out, and I'm telling you, if you qualify, you might be 100% covered by Medicaid, like I said, and these will be delivered right to your door. So you can eliminate those diaper runs and save some money. Diapers are out. Diapers were expensive before inflation. Then inflation came. You know, somebody told me this the other day. It's brilliant. So they pointed it out. They said, my diaper bill, they have a child who's like 8 years old, not potty trained. So many special needs kids aren't potty trained. My monthly diaper bill is equal to my car payment.
I bet.
And I started thinking about it. I was like, oh my goodness, you're right.
Yeah.
You don't factor that in. Yeah, you know, when you had a baby, you said, all right, well, we're going to do diapers for 2 years, 2.5 years, you know, whatever. 8 years and counting?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I know.
He wrote, it's my car payment. It's like having another car, except it's just diapers. It's incredible to think of things like that. So dailyautism.com, and then you want to hit the Aeroflow Urology button. They've done really great work for a lot of families. I know this year I'm proud that we have, I think we've gotten over 500 families connected with them. Just about 500 families, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it just, to take that weight off of their shoulders, it might be a great way to start 2024. I hope that can work out for you. If not, share it with somebody who it might help. So we're diving deep into the holiday season. We're looking ahead to 2024. We talk about, you know, making changes. Look at 2024 as maybe experimenting a little bit with your lifestyle. Again, we're just trying to mix a little bit of the neurodivergent lifestyle with the neurotypical lifestyle and see what we can kind of get out of that. I think that's a real positive thing to do. I think that's something that, you know, of course, depending on where you are in this, but I think that's something I hate to say. I promised myself I wouldn't say New Year's resolution. Ugh, I just hate, I can't stand the term. But if you must do that, I think that's a healthy thing to at least think about is how can we mix things up a little bit? You know what I mean? How can we just sort of break out of the normal? Because the special needs lifestyle, you get hooked into the normal, right? The therapist, they have to have a routine. It's a schedule, right? If you go to school, that's a schedule. Everything is such a schedule. And so what we're really looking to do is to kind of break out of that a little bit. Kind of.
Yeah. It sounds good.
Yeah. Just
Something different.
something different, something fun, something. And if it doesn't work, fine, we'll find something else to do. But I think I don't know. I think that's kind of a thing that people should get into. Like, that's what I'm excited about 2024.
Yeah.
So
a new year.
A new year. And something that we're going to do over the holiday break is we're going to hang out with our friends at Krabby Bill's, the original Krabby Bill's, Indian Rocks Beach. I got to tell you, it's our home away from home. My favorite time there is the holidays. I love it. A little bit cooler weather, but you still got the live music every day, great happy hour, just a place to go and feel like, we're at this tropical paradise. We're having fun, but Krabby Bill's does a great job investing in their community, and they're really involved with a lot of community projects and charities and things like that. So the original Krabby Bill's, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida. They've actually, I just saw today, they've got some special menu items designed just for the holidays.
Looks delicious.
They look really good. So we're going to stop by and take advantage of that. The original Krabby Bill's, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida. Also, if I had like a breaking news sounder button here, I would hit it right now. This is really cool. So the Lift Academy in Clearwater, right? This is unbelievable what they're doing. So their co-founder, her and her husband are matching donations up to $3.5 million by the end of the year. So we got to act pretty fast on this. Kelly Mondello is her name, the co-founder, and her husband, Mark. But they're matching donations up to $3.5 million for the Lift Academy, which is the world-class gold standard of kids and neurodivergent, just the way that they have designed the environment there. I love their stance on bullying and just providing an atmosphere, an environment where these kids can thrive. So many places, it's like, there's an element of just existing, and the Lift Academy is like, no, you're not here to exist. You're here to thrive. You know what I mean? And it's equally as good for the parents too, who feel good about it, right? They feel great. They're like, my kid's thriving. Like it's great. And also, I always mention over 95% of their students are on scholarships, so they can help you with that process as well. At the Lift Academy, brand new, awesome facility in Clearwater. But again, so important that they are matching donations up to $3.5 million by the end of the year. So if you could make a donation, that would be awesome. If you could share this with somebody who's able to make a donation, it's going to be matched dollar for dollar. So I think that's worthy of breaking news.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. So great job for the Lift Academy. And that's what I love too about, in building up this daily autism platform is we have the Tampa Bay area organizations and businesses. And then we also have this kind of more global, network of organizations. And it's just kind of cool to see all of this culminate into like special needs, autism. There's a movement for parents. People are supporting each other. People are coming out of the community and being like, no, we want to help. What can we do?
Yeah.
So,
and you're right. Like the parents have to create it. Like Kelly created it,
Yeah.
Ling created it.
Ling with Technology North. Absolutely. Like it does have to, I feel like I'm like, wake up, people, wake up. Let's do it. We can do it. We can do it. Ling and I talk about that all the time, because he's a special needs dad and this happened and he immediately, it's like the gears started turning and it's like, what can I do? I've got to look out for the interest of my son and people like him and parents like us, like me. And I just think if we can just get people to, I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something around that. So I'm thinking.
Good.
I'm in thought.
I just told a mom that the other day. She's like, I wish that this existed, because her son's 15 and autistic and it doesn't exist. So I'm like, it's up to us as parents, as special needs parents to make it happen.
Yeah. I just agree 100%. And I think the holidays are a great time to reflect on what can you do for the following year that's purposeful, that's meaningful, that's impactful. What can you do? How can you come out of the gate flying like you've been shot out of a cannon in 2024 and do meaningful, purposeful things for people?
And I think people do get afraid. Of course it's scary.
Oh, it's scary.
It's scary, but because it's purposeful, it's all going to make it worth it,
Yeah. Well, here's what's more scary. But people, I don't know, this is just maybe a human thing or our society thing. The scariest thing is doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're living in a crock pot. It's just a slow cook. That's scary, so, measuring things out, of course, are important, but just not doing anything, pretty scary.
Yep. Step out of your box.
You know exactly where you're going to be next year, the following year, 10 years, 20 years. Ooh, that stuff suffocates me. I start feeling like hands around my neck, right? Like, well, you're going to be doing the same thing in 10 years. No, that's not going to
Yeah,
work.
but a lot of people do.
I know. But
like, has your life changed, or are you doing the exact same thing you've always done?
Yeah. Well, like I said, for special needs families, what we would lay awake with at night is a lot heavier than a lot of people. And so I think you even have more of a reason to take some action. You know what I mean? I think you have even more of a reason to take some action. You had mentioned Ling. He's the CEO of Technology North. There's a great documentary on YouTube. It's called Cliff 20. It chronicles his company and technology and process that he's created for young adults on the autism spectrum. So I really recommend you check it out. And I mentioned earlier about the Autism Health Summit in February. Ling's going to be there. He's a really smart, passionate, focused guy, and he's created this really cool opportunity for young adults on the spectrum, not only to work and be employed, but to actually be a part of something. They actually have purposeful work to do. They're a part of something. Ling calls them the A-Team. And it's just really phenomenal what he's done. But Cliff 20, that is the documentary on YouTube. It's totally free. It's like 25 minutes. I think I've watched it like 3, 4, or 5 times. It's just so well done. But more people like Ling, who was a technology entrepreneur to begin with, but then said, okay, I'm going to now refocus my efforts towards young adults on the spectrum and their families, and for no better reason in the world, his son. So I just think it's great. Cliff 20 on YouTube, totally free. And Ling's company is technologynorth.net. So I think that's really cool. Also wanted to highlight Angel Sense. This is important. This is GPS tracking technology. We talked the last radio show and a couple of our podcast episodes there. We had an elopement with Cal. Thank God he didn't leave the house, but he ran and hid in the house. The problem is we were like 98% sure he was in the house, but that 2% was wild.
Yeah,
So
and we couldn't find him.
I'm sprinting up and down the neighborhood, screaming, you're inside, tearing the house apart. But this GPS tracker, I didn't have my phone on me because I was at home and it was just in another room, would have actually told us from Angel Sense that he is, in fact, in the home. Angelsense.com, they are still giving this away for free for the holidays, the tech, the hardware, the tracker, with a subscription. So, you can go to dailyautism.com and click on the Angel Sense button, and you'll get all of those details. By the way, in the state of Florida, they've been added to Medicaid waivers, including iBudget. So, it's very important for parents. And that'll, if you're approved for that, will obviously take care of the subscription as well. So, Angel Sense, phenomenal technology. People are busy this time of year. You're in malls, you're shopping, you're at celebrations. And if you have a child on the spectrum and elopement issues, I'm telling you, this is a game changer. You don't have to take it from me. You go to their website. There's tons of parents' testimonials of like, my kid ran out of his therapy center, ran out of his school, got away from us in a parking lot, and went missing. Could you imagine? And they found him with the tracking. So dailyautism.com, click on the Angel Sense button and get the info on that. Any special advice for people for the holidays as we start to wind this down? From a mom's point of view, I mean, you're cooking, you're doing the decorations and everything like that. Any like mom stuff where it's like, hang in there, moms, dads. It's stressful.
It's super stressful. I would say don't put too much stress on yourself. Like our everyday life is stressful enough that I do not go overboard with Christmas. Like, I think about it and the kids are getting what they want, but I'm not putting so much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And then follow your kid's lead as far as like with autism and your child. Like watch if they want to move forward with unwrapping gifts and stuff, or if they're not comfortable, like put them in the other room, like I'm following Cal's lead this year because I have no idea what to expect.
Well,
like, it sounds like it's going to be good.
That's a good point.
But I'm really not sure.
Well, that's a good point with the special needs child. I mean, could you imagine saying I'm following my son's lead to a typical 6-year-old? I mean, that would be insanity, right? People
I
would be
know.
like, what are you doing?
But it's a different way of parenting.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Also, too, I think I'd add to that, and that's great stuff, right? Is because we don't do the big holiday dinners anymore. It's just too much with him. It's a lot going on in the kitchen, then tons of cleanup.
And he's not going to eat any of it.
Right. And so we've really modified what we eat on the holidays and things like that. We try to make it fun for the kids, but it is very different. a big thing of what I see though with special needs families is talking to other family members and like, look, this is our new life. This is what we're doing. And sometimes it's more important. It's like, this is what we're not doing. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of rifts with families and grandparents and aunts and uncles and extended cousins. It's like, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? Why can't we come over? Or why aren't you coming over longer? Or why aren't we singing holiday songs and turning the music up and,
right.
Blaring this and blaring that. And, I think, I've seen a lot of stories, where people have been like, yeah, we just can't do big holiday celebrations anymore because a portion of our family doesn't understand and they refuse to try to understand.
One of our followers on Facebook had wrote a comment on one of my posts, and she said, I had the best Thanksgiving ever because I told my husband, go ahead and take our daughter and go with the family. I'm staying home with our son because he can't handle it.
Yeah.
And she said it was amazing. She's like, she didn't feel the pressure of taking him and trying to put him in this situation he didn't want to be in. So she stayed home, and she's like, it was so peaceful and it was fine. Yeah. And sometimes you do just have to divide and conquer. If that's what, if your spouse wants to go.
I agree 1,000%. I think it's one of those things where you truly have to realize and come to this moment where it's like, it is what's best for my child, because again, you don't know how something could carry on to the night, to the next day, for the whole week. We've been in that situation with Cal. We've had events where it's like a week later and we're like, oh my gosh, like he's just so off and upset and scared, and and it's like, it's a lot. It takes a lot, and you're heartbroken for your child, but then you're running out of energy and you're not sleeping, and it's just it's a lot.
And we more than ever now divide and conquer because we have 4 typical kids that are very active in sports. So you end up taking him and I stay home, or sometimes I bring Cal, but if I know it's not the right environment or time of day or weather related, I stay home.
One of our, obviously we're really big on health, and it's hard with special needs lifestyle, but for Cal specifically and the many gut issues, the gut-brain connection is amazing. When your gut's better, your brain works better, you're happier. But Begin Health and the growing up prebiotics. I know people are like, hey, you're not saying probiotics right. I know. I had to learn this too. Prebiotics. What that is that's actually the food that feeds the healthy bacteria in our guts. Like, you can have that, but if they can't be nourished, then they go away too. And that's the prebiotics. Same molecular structure as breast milk. I mean, this is like the best stuff that we can give our children for the guts. Again, dailyautism.com. You can get our discount. Just get our discount if you're going to get it. I mean, we've been using it. It's been unbelievable. First off, how quick he got, the healthy diapers and just the overall happiness. But for me, more than anything else, I'm like, well, we didn't have any of that good food in there for your good bacteria. So we were kind of depriving that, they need to eat.
Right.
So really incredible. And the results have been great. Again, just get our discount, dailyautism.com, and click on the Begin Health button to get our discount through them. And we've got plenty of videos on social media of how we mix it in his food or companies say tasteless, odorless. I'm always skeptical. It was 100%. He has not. It's funny. I see him drinking the water now. I'm like, haha, you don't know. Prebiotics are in there.
Yeah, there's no like granules. It dissolves.
Yeah, or that film that always builds up at the top with a lot of stuff. None of it. So we were really lucky to find it for his gut, to make him a happy gut in a big, full, healthy diaper. Trying to be nice about that, right? dailyautism.com, and click on the Begin Health button to get our discount to you. Also, as we continue to grow our platform into 2024, 2023 has just been amazing. Dailyautism.com to connect to all of our social channels, whether you're active on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which we've grown substantially in this year. Also, all of our podcasts, where you can find all of our radio shows, our LinkedIn newsletter, our bi-weekly newsletter, which has had a huge year of growth. We do autism stories for parents a couple times a week. America's Autism Hotline, which is also available at dailyautism.com, kind of a one-to-one media for parents of autism and what's available in regards to products and services. And of course, for all the details of our brand new physical concept, My Sensory Studio in Pinellas County, Florida. which is now open and accepting special needs family members. You can get all those details at dailyautism.com. So we got another show before the end of the year, and then we'll be into 2024. And we look forward to seeing you and joining you across all of our digital platforms through dailyautism.com.